Barsanti.
Roberto Giovanni Barsanti.
What a fabulous last name.
Thank you.
It really is. I am sitting here with Bob B as in boy, Barsanti.
Yes.
That's such a great name.
Thank you.
Did you get a lot of harassment from schoolmates when you were young? With such a fabulous name?
Because like you say, it's a different name. It's a different name. And when I was a kid, I had a little bit of a lisp. And so, yeah, a little bit of harassment came along with that.
Well, we're not here just to discuss your name, Bob. We're here to talk about the fact that you and your partner
Yes, of 20 years.
of 20 years, congratulations, have just moved to Puerto Vallarta, and you are both interested and experienced in musical theater and community theater, and you are working with our dear friend Sandy McDonald in her pursuits for Teatro Sin Borders.
Yes.
Tell me how that came about.
Well, we were going around town, getting our feet wet, so to speak, and everywhere we went, we saw a poster for Harvey. Literally everywhere we went, we saw a poster for Harvey. And so theater pretty much has been our life forever. We love to go see things, in general, just whatever is out there. And so we saw the poster, and I said, well, you want to go see Harvey? And he said, yep. Definitely. And so we went and saw Harvey and enjoyed it. And afterwards, I'm kind of a little forward sometimes.
As most theater directors are.
Yeah, I said, who is Sandy? And they pointed her out. And so I introduced myself. I introduced Tony. And I said, we're theater directors, actors, producers, and we'd like to work with your company. And she said, well, that would be great. I'm going to Spain. And then when I get back from Spain, let's talk. And so when she got back, we reconnected. And that's got us to this point right here.
Well, we gotta love our Sandy. She has her priorities all figured out, isn't she?
Spain.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'll take Spain first.
No, I'm so glad that you connected with them. And I understand that you gentlemen have moved to Puerto Vallarta very recently.
Yes, we moved in February, the 24th exactly. And we have a apartment condo in 5th of December. And it's on the 5th floor, and it overlooks the bay, and on one side and the mountains on the other. So we're pretty lucky to have found it, and we just love it.
You've been coming here for some time.
Yes, we've been coming here on and off for since we know each other. We know each other. We met each other through theater, and so we've been coming down here maybe once, twice, 3 times a year, and for the last 20 years. And we just love it, and so that's why we chose here.
In your point of view, how has Puerto Vallarta's entertainment scene evolved through this time?
Well, when we first started coming down here, we mostly go to the shows that are down in the romantic zone area. So that was kind of our perception of what the theater was. Then as time has gone on, we've tried to find other venues and regular plays. And so, like I said, with this, we made a very strong effort to go see shows, and we've enjoyed it. We've enjoyed it very much.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And you have, well, I don't know what the process was in working with Sandy, but you've come to terms with a play that you're going to direct. You're going to direct the first of 2 plays that Teatro Sin Borders is going to present this season, as I understand it.
Yes, protect. They might have to be protected. No.
Tell me about the play that you're going to direct.
Okay, the play that I am going to direct is called Vanya and Sonia and Masha and Spike.
Can you say that backwards?
Spike, Masha, Sonia, Vanya.
Who wrote the play?
This play is written by Christopher Durang, who was very prominent in the late 80s, up to the late 90s. He passed away, I believe it was 2003. But anyway, this is one of his last plays. And he's known as a somewhat absurdist um, playwright. He writes comedies, mostly comedies. He's written plays like Sister and Mary Ignatius Explains It All to You.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, a play called The Actor's Nightmare, which is really, really funny. And so his plays are almost all comic and depend on really good timing and really good actors.
So before we get into the subject matter of the play, how, because I don't know what the process of selecting a play or submit, is this something that you proposed to Sandy? I would like to direct this, or was Sandy looking specifically for someone to direct this play because this is the direction that she wants the company to take?
The plays were selected by their committee before we even met Sandy.
Oh, wow.
So they said, we have these two plays, and you guys could either direct them together or one each. And we just kind of between us decided, okay, I'll take Durang, and he took Blythe's Spirit by Noel Coward, and so that was it. I've read it before, but it was fun to get refamiliarized with it, and I have a kind of a quirky sense of humor. So the Vanya play actually spoke to me. It's fun. It's a funny play.
You have to have a quirky sense of humor to choose to move to this darn city to begin with.
Exactly.
So how, okay, I have so many questions. Let's start with what is the show about? What is the play about? Like if you were running into someone at a cocktail party and they asked you that question, and of course you want them to go, what would you tell them?
Well, the show is about family, first and foremost, and sibling relationships.
Okay.
How there are jealousies that sometimes occur between, let's say, the quote, less successful brother and sister than Masha, who's a big movie star.
Oh dear.
And yeah, and then she decides to bring her latest boy toy along with her, and his name is Spike.
Oh, perfect.
And Spike likes to take his clothes off.
Oh.
So
Not all their Sandy chose this.
yeah, not all of his clothes, but most of them. And if you see our posters, there's a pair of underwear on there. And so that is part of this story. So what it is, these two, a brother and sister, have been living in their family home for all their lives, and they never ever ventured out into the world. So neither of them had their own life other than each other and the house. And so then Masha, who is the movie star, she comes for a visit, and with Spike. And so that throws their equilibrium off quite a bit. And then as it goes along, Masha, who owns the house, decides in kind of a spiteful way that she's going to sell it. And so there's those feelings between brothers and sisters that sometimes they get angry with each other. Sometimes they love each other more than they can say. Sometimes they know exactly what buttons to push to elicit a specific response. And so that's what the play is about this one weekend where Masha comes home to meet the other two siblings and brings her boy toy. Now, there's also a soothsayer thrown into the mix, and she's very funny because whatever she says is right and ends up coming true, but nobody believes her.
Well, between sibling rivalries and boy toys, I'm sure that a lot of people in Puerto Vallarta are going to identify with the subject matter.
Yeah.
When you as a director, yes, I am being snarky and I don't care. When you as a director, like I'm a musician.
Right.
You know, if I want to learn a new piece of piano or if I'm going to conduct my choir, well, I don't have one anymore, but you know, I have a process that I would go through in terms of getting acquainted with the source material.
Sure.
What without getting into many details,
Right.
what are your challenges as a director when you are presented with a fresh new play that you may or may not be familiar with?
Well, first thing you do is you read it and read it and read it, okay? And then you determine what the themes are throughout the play. So in this play, it's sibling rivalry. It's getting older, thinking maybe your life has passed you by. So you figure out what the themes are, and then dissect it into workable pieces, and then you have your auditions, and then you start working on those pieces, and as those get established, you start putting them together. And then as you get to the end of the process, you start doing full runs. And then that full runs means you do the whole play. And then you start throwing in costumes, and you start throwing in props and lights,
Underwear.
and underwear. And so then, the very last week and a half is you just run the show with all these variable things thrown in.
Auditions are coming up, right?
Yes, they are.
What are we looking for aside from a boy toy?
Well, all the three siblings are in their 50s.
Oh,
Yeah, the three siblings are in their 50s, but
how old is the boy toy?
that's debated in the play. They call one guy called Vanya. He thinks he looks 10, but the consensus is he's in his mid-20s.
I mean, we don't want to ruffle the feathers of reglamentos, do we? No.
We'll do it very tastefully.
As it should be done.
Yes, and so the three siblings are about the same age, 40s to 50s. Cassandra, the soothsayer, can be of either gender. And so that's another opportunity. And then there's a girl named Nina who's in it, who is young and beautiful, and she makes Masha very jealous because Masha is no longer young and beautiful. She's beautiful, but she's no longer young. And so that's what we're looking for. We're looking for actors who can appear mature in there, and somebody who doesn't mind being on stage in their underwear, a guy who's nice and buff, and
There's shitloads of those.
yeah.
But can they act? That's a different.
Well, yeah, that's to be determined. We might do a different whole show with no. I'm just kidding. No, and then
Sign me up for that.
there you go. And Cassandra is, like I said, he's the wild card, and she's funny as hell. Funny as hell.
Is this your first experience directing community theater in Mexico?
In Mexico, yes. However, I've directed community theater 20 plus years. I've been acting in community theater 30 years, and I've done everything. I've run the lights, I've run the sound, I've directed, I've helped choreograph things, not dance, but like movement. And so everything all the way up to being the main person who says yes or no, this is how we think the show should go. And I like to have to do it more collaboratively. I trust the actors, and I think that directors who just say take 5 steps to the left on this word are really missing out on something, because the actors come up with some really great stuff. And so you have to be open enough to go with the flow, as they say.
Well, I have nothing but the best of good wishes for you and your partner in this new stage in your life, and certainly with you and your association with my dear friend Sandy. Sandy and I have known each other for about 312 years now. So I am always happy whenever I see her eyes glow. And when she communicated to me that you guys were going to be part of this adventure, she sounded very, very happy.
We've become very close very quickly. Yeah, we've been seeing each other, pretty much every day for the last 2 weeks, working on this project.
I'm hoping that folks that are watching this, you guys, if you have it in you, if you want to audition, if you're interested in this, all the sign-up information is on the website, correct? And
TiestoSinBorders.com, and then there's an audition page /auditions.
well, we will be happy to post that and show it throughout the interview. I so much look forward to this, and I look forward to learning more about your partner's take on No Cowards,
Yeah.
which should be absolutely wonderful. Anything that anybody does to move the dial of entertainment in Puerto Vallarta in a favorable direction is more than welcome.
And we are so excited to be a part of it. Because we're both retired now, we have the time to invest, our full efforts, our full time and love into these projects.
Are we missing anything important that I haven't asked that you want to convey in this interview?
The opening dates are in November.
Okay.
The last week in November. It runs for 3 weeks. And so way we're doing the rehearsals really briefly is we have the auditions. Then we're going to have a read through. I'll give people a lot of time to memorize their lines, or what we call get off book. And then we're going to start doing the rehearsals.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, I thank you so much for your time. I'm so excited that something new and exciting is coming this fall, and I can't wait. Between now and then, if you come up with anything new or newsworthy that you wish to share with me, it will be my pleasure to amplify.
Well, thank you so much, sir. I appreciate meeting you and the opportunity to talk about my little play.
My pleasure.
Thank you.